All right. Hey, everyone. Great to have you here. My goodness. Grace, good to see you. How you doing over there? Happy early birthday, right?
Thank you. Oh,
Barbara, great to see you. Candy, how are you doing?
Good.
Always great to have you sessions. Yeah. Sarah, how are you doing? Great to have you back. Corey, great to see you again. I feel like it's been a while since I've had you in one of these practice sessions.
I work all spring and summer every Sunday, so my shifts are done for the year, so now I'm back.
Okay, congratulations. Great time to be
Thanks.
back.
Yeah.
Laureen, how are you? Great to see your smile. Right on. There we go. Two-hand wave. Perfect. Roinda Hartsfield. I don't know if we've met before, Roinda, but it's great to have you here.
Aloha.
Aloha. Oh, from Hawaii. For real?
Yeah. I'm from
Wow.
Molokai, but I'm living in DC. But my friend Annie turned me on to your session. I watch your YouTube, and I just started watercoloring. So I hope it's okay that I join this session.
Oh my God, it is way more than okay, Roinda.
And
Absolutely.
I did the mindfulness, but I couldn't help it.
Yeah, cool. Oh, you did it with color. You had colored pencils? Is that what?
No, after the session, I don't know, I was a little weepy. Don't judge. But so
That's
I
all
just
good.
started coloring it.
Right on.
So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate you joining. Hey Nan, good to see you again.
Hi.
Had a lot of sessions together this week. Very good.
hmm
Yvette, great to have you over there. Feel free to hide behind the camera, no worries, but I know you're over there, ready to paint. And Wendy, good to see you in here too. Um, all right, everyone. Welcome to the practice hour. I feel like it's been ages since the last time we do this, even though technically it's probably only been actually 4 weeks, but I don't know, maybe because we've entered like a new dimension or something like that. It feels like it was absolutely ages ago. Um, let's see. So, nothing has changed here though in the practice hour. This series is brought to you in collaboration with my beloved Leo Marchutz School of Painting and Drawing. Okay, where all of my art education background training took place. Right now, they offer great in-person online programs. Okay. Right now, I'm actually showing you a slide from their website of a page where um, I am offering a watercolor class that I do with them every year. The class is called Vision Process and Quick Watercolor Studies, and I offer it every year right at the beginning of the year because I want to help those of us who maybe used to paint or have painted before and want to get back into it. I want to provide us a way to jumpstart our practice again with a group of, fellow artists, fellow practicing artists. Um, and we focus on quick sketches to help you get past being stuck on details, developing your vision to discern what is essential in your subject, and to paint a little more spontaneously. Okay, so that's coming up this January. Registration is open now, and I'll put the link for that class in the chat in case you are interested. Um, Voila, there you go. And I also, if you haven't, been to my website yet, there are things for you here. I have resources here on site and in site where resources for free resources for my students, participants in the practice hour, et cetera, et cetera. Depending on where you find out about the info for this practice series, you could sign up for monthly practice memos on my website. This right here on the left is on the front page. Okay, so if you want to stay abreast of when these are happening every month, that's where you should sign up. And then also, I do offer free mini critiques. Okay, if you've been working on something this year, not sure of, what exactly you should be working on to take your practice further. I do offer free mini critiques, just like short 30, maybe 40 minutes. Okay. And you can use this form here to sign up for that. So just some things for you all, my dear practice hour members and artists. All right. So thinking about what we're gonna paint this week. My goodness. I won't lie, I was procrastinating for a while. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to bring you all. I thought of going this route and bringing in Judith beheading Holofernes by Artemisia Gentileschi. I thought that might be a fun, maybe timely subject, but also probably unreasonable to try to do in an hour. So I figured let's dial it back a little bit, Nick. Let's be a little bit reasonable. Let's go with just a Monet, okay? A Monet landscape. But within this Monet, I figure um we could stand to have a session on how darkness concentrates light. Okay? So that's a little bit of my inspiration behind choosing this for today. All right. So feel free to get started. Whatever you're working in is perfectly fine. Watercolor, colored pencil, pastel. If you've got an easel and you're working in oil today, that is fantastic. I'll be working in watercolor. Um, and yeah, I will full screen this so you all can get started. Okay. Oop. Actually, I have just a few more things I need to include before I actually full screen this. So some workshop guidelines and reminders, especially if you're joining us for the first time or if it's been a while since you've practiced with us. This workshop, this practice series, sorry, is an opportunity for us to gain practice. Okay? It's not a class. I don't have a lesson planned. When working from a masterwork like this, the goal is not to make a forgery. Okay? I want you to have your own experience with the work and practice putting it together according to whatever key relationships, essential elements you see. All right? Make your own parallel image with your own unique individual touch. All right? It can still be an opportunity to learn. I will be sharing, I will be doing this practice with you, and I'll be sharing insights about my process as the session unfolds. Um, if watching my work will benefit you this session, I recommend switching your Zoom meeting to side-by-side speaker view. Okay, so you can go in the top right corner. I don't know if this is the right for you all, but the top right corner, okay, of your Zoom meeting, switch to side-by-side speaker view. And from there, take the cursor of your mouse, move it to the right from the reference image, and you'll find a vertical bar that will appear that you can slide across and make my screen, or what's spotlit in the Zoom meeting, as big as you want, okay? Nick's desk is a participant here, and I will be switching to that in just a moment, and you can watch me work, all right? You're welcome to ask me questions, okay, while I'm working, or share, insights, epiphanies, discoveries, from your own work, all right? I will ask, however, if you don't have something you want to say, remain muted, just to eliminate any distracting background noise you may have. Ambulances driving down the road, barking dogs from the neighbors, whatever it is. Um, and likewise, if you're in the zone and just want to work, you feel free to mute me. No problem. If you've got music over where you are and you just want to be in your zone and in the company of others, feel free to mute me. You don't have to listen to me, okay? The last thing I'll say is special thank you to our returning participants who regularly contribute. We are happy to offer this monthly online practice hour at no cost to our community. If you are enjoying this program, however, please consider making a donation to support the mission of the Leo Marchutz School of Painting and Drawing. Donations can be made at the link I have just dropped in the chat. All right. With that, I can full screen the image. I'm going to make it just a touch smaller for us. Okay. And you all will be there on the side. Beautiful. Okay. So spotlighting my desk, I am going to take this off camera I'm still here, not going anywhere, just over here now. And actually, Let me see if I can get rid of that bar at the top. Beautiful. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm clipping down my paper. That's just a quick and easy way I like to sort of keep my paper nice and stretched, you could say. I'm going to switch the angle of this just to make it a little bit easier for me to see what I'm doing. Excuse me. Voila. So I know I'm going to be working pretty wet into this. That's sort of how I like to begin watercolor paintings. Just very general areas of color done in a wet surface. So yeah, I like to keep these binder clips on here. It helps mitigate the buckling a little bit. It's not perfect, you know, buckling and warping, that's just part of it. You can't completely escape that, but um, this helps just a touch. And let's see, another thing I am going to do that I like to do for these exercises, I personally like to start with a rectangle that's roughly the same proportions as the image I'm drawing. I do that just to be really aware and intentional of the space that I'm responsible for on my paper, okay? I also like it because it helps me with composition. All right, so roughly something like that. I think I'm a little bit wider than I need to be. Maybe oh, there we go. Maybe I'll adjust that real quick. There, and that'll do fine. That's more like it. All right. Now, me, the way I like to do these is I like to start with the lightest part of the image. So I'm looking at that light at the very top right there. Yellow, orange, at the top and the bottom. So I think I'm going to try getting that in first with some washes here, here, and everything else I will sort of layer on top gradually. Again, for you, if you're working in pastel or something else, your process could be entirely different. But for watercolor, this is generally how I like to go. Yeah, all right. So I'm just gonna start. And I also tend to be, I like to fly by the seat of my pants a little bit. Um, so I think for this, I may just wet large areas of my paper, um, and work that way. There's so much like mist and atmosphere in this. I want to have that, I don't know, I want to have some of that diffuseness happening. So I'm going to rely quite a bit on wet techniques and just try and work quickly while the water is absorbing, see how far I get, and then maybe take a step back and reevaluate from there. Alors, voila. I'll start like that. And let's go with some yellow. Now, again, no pressure to do it my way. Like, this is your practice time to do it your way. Do it however you want to do it. If there's something specific that you're trying to explore, get better at, this can just be the premise of your exercise or the thing that you try doing it on. Don't feel like you have to do what I am doing. Right. So I definitely got some yellow down. Let's go for some red real fast. So right before this, some of you were joining, but I did like a creative mindfulness session that involved drawing. And actually, as I'm doing this now, I'm finding that being a little more, I don't want to say reckless, but just getting colors on the page feels really good. Like not worrying about if I'm putting it in the right place, but there's something really satisfying about just filling the paper with color um, with less restraint, with less measurement and um, control or finesse. Um, just as I'm doing it right now, I'm sort of enjoying how, yeah, just how it feels getting so much color on the page. All right. So I'll start with that. I'm actually going to take paper towel, pick out a little bit of light in the top in this yellow right here. I want that sun area to really resonate as the lightest part of my image. So I'm going to try and lift up just a little bit of the paint that I've put down there. And maybe a touch right here too. All right. Now I'm going to keep going while this is sort of absorbing into the paper. I got some nice crimsons in here. I'm going to go for those. Voila, that's nice. Boom. All right. Let's see. All right, so it looks like I got my warm tones in more or less the way I want them. Maybe we can get a little more orange down here. As it's slowly absorbing, I'm going to start trying to. All right, it's already drying in certain areas, but not others. But I want to keep a bit of it, rather, again, like I said, I want to have some of that diffuse effect happening. So I'm just taking my spray bottle, sort of re-moistening certain areas, and maybe I'll mix up like a real sort of complementary dark gray to all that red. So when I say complementary, to get to something that dark, I do want it to have a little bit of tone in it. I don't want to just use like the black from my set can be very unforgiving. And I want there to be a little bit of like a color relationship between the two. So I'm going to start with green actually, red's complement. And then maybe from there, drop in some of the very reds I used to make, um, to start my painting with. This one's very orange because there's a lot more yellow in that red, but this one has a little more blue, still very orange. Ah, because there's so much yellow in the green that I used. Oh well, no big deal. Just throw in all the primary colors. Don't think about it too hard. And let's see what I can come up with. There we go. Warm. It's got, I still want a little bit of that green happening in there. So let me get some yellow, some blue. Really just mixing a lot of colors in at this point to get this. There we go. All right, now I got a little bit of a tone. And I'm just going to start spreading that in certain areas so it can interact with the red that's there. Again, doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Looks like everything's going to start changing to red anyways because there's just so much red on the paper. But I want to keep adding some of that paint so that we can shape the way this scene looks. All right. So I'm making a proper mess here, but that's okay. No worries. I I'm confident that I will be able to bring it back and harness what's going on here, so I'm not sweating it too much. Again, a lot of this right now is still just getting some general foundation for me to keep working this image on top of, so some large areas of color is generally how I like to begin my images. All right, so here's where I'm at. Let's see. Lots of water on here. I'm just gonna tip my paper in certain directions to try and get either the color sort of where I want it to go. Or I may even just set it to one side and lift it up with my paper towel. But yes, tilting this thing like I'm a bad pinball machine player is part of my process. All right, so now that I've got like a general foundation for my painting, I'm gonna do a little bit of, I'm taking my smaller brush, dry with no paint in it. I'm just picking out some of the areas that I want light to be that I've smothered with my wash. So down here in the front, maybe some, I could pick out some of the lights to sort of give it a little bit more of that water ripple effect, just where I see it, not trying to be too perfect about it, but just where I want there to be a little bit of texture. And then also the right side of the tower. I think it's noteworthy that when you look at the right side of that tower, there is that little bit of orange vertical right next to the tower before it goes into that mid-tone gray in the upper right corner. So I want to bring some light back. I've definitely, you know, smothered things here. I like the red beneath it, but I'm just going to take my brush and sort of lift up some of the pigment so that I have now like a distinction. Like you can, voila, okay? We can sort of offset the dark of this tower a little bit before it transitions to all that um, gray in the right. Maybe we can bring that a little bit lower, like there. Cool. And maybe here. Oops. Oh, that'll have to do. Maybe a touch over here. Right. All right, so now from here, things are still a little moist, which I like. I'm going to start layering up some of the areas that need to be darker. Okay, so it's a little difficult in some areas to see, but I want to get here over on the horizon just a little bit. Right. Maybe a little more down here in this bottom left. I'm sensing like a blue, sort of a really dark, deep blue in there. what I really like about working into wet paper is that once it's started absorbing, but it's not, it's not dry, but it's not a puddle on top of the paper. I really like this stage where I can make marks and they're not super defined. They're very sort of diffuse, imperfect. Um, that's probably my favorite stage of watercolor where I can just drop in strokes like this and they have this really beautiful diffuse atmospheric effect. So I try to take advantage of that as much as possible. And it does involve working quickly, um, but with practice, you can get quite, quite, yeah, good at just putting down the colors and letting the pigment maybe take care of the rest a little bit. All right. Well, I started painting into areas that were dry, which I don't totally dig, but I may just have to live with it. No big deal. All right, gotta keep moving on. Onwards, as my father would always say. I'm having a hard time with that top right corner. I will not lie. Not really sitting the way I wanted to and having a hard time with the just the right tones I want to get there. I sense a lot of blue and green in that top right corner. Um, but maybe I just do this, live with it, and figure out how I'm gonna deal with it a little bit later on. Strange. Okay, no big deal. Let's keep painting. Okay, I'll have to remedy that later, but so be it. So be it. Hmm. All right, the parts that are giving me trouble, I'm just trying to sit with my discomfort about those for a little bit and focus on other things. Um, what other parts of this can I develop in the meantime? No problem, Wendy. Great to have you here. Oh, yeah, I'm past that sweet spot where things are diffuse on my paper. So I'm gonna have to find other ways to work on them. But again, let me just, whoops, get build up the other areas that need attention on my painting, and I will figure out the rest later. Right. And actually, if you don't mind me asking, Roinda, sorry to put you on the spot here, but could you tell me again how you found out about the um the practice hour?
Oh, my friend Annie and I just started watercolor, and she took
Okay.
your color theory class, and then she turned me on
Oh,
to your YouTube. So then I went down the rabbit hole of all your YouTube videos.
oh my God.
And then, we were
Wow.
talking about stuff that's happened here this week and how sad we've been. And she gave me the link, or, asked if I could join your class that we did at one, which I gotta say, I got a little weepy. I wasn't expecting that. So
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. My pleasure. Um, okay, so Anne or Annie?
Well, I call her Annie, but
Okay, she's probably Anne. I think, yeah,
yeah,
I think she emailed me, I think even.
yeah,
Cool. Right. Yeah, that class just started the week before the election, and we haven't met since
correct.
because we didn't have class on election day. Uh,
Yeah,
but wonderful of her to, to
yeah. I
pass.
actually worked the polls, so I think I was a little beat up after all of this.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah.
It was my first time working the polls, so it was my way to contribute back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that mindfulness session we just did is sort of my way to contribute back in the aftermath. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And thank you for joining.
No,
Uh,
I really appreciate this. Has been excellent.
good, 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 good. Yeah, it's what I can contribute um, from where I am right now. And Corey, I hope you don't mind me asking, have you attended Marchutz in the past? Are you a
Yes.
Marchutz alum? You have.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great. Best thing I did my whole college career.
Okay, got it. Cool. All right. So you were able to spend, if you did it while you were in college, you spent a
Yes.
semester with them?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I'm always keen to have Marchutz alumni in these programs, particularly, um, just because of how, important it is to keep this as a habit. Um, if you have any classmates from your semester when you're here, please tell them about the practice hour, um, and that they can get back into their practice if they so like. All right, everyone. How about we keep going for about 10 more minutes? Okay. I'm sort of still working on the architecture. My top right corner is just going to be the way it is. I don't know that I will be able to do much more with it, but maybe I can play with the bottom here. This transition from the architecture to the water, I'm not completely happy with. Still sort of hesitating what exactly I want to do, which is sort of losing me time while this is absorbing. Yeah, I don't know. I have like two things I need to figure out, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go spray bottle down here. It's a little bit lighter. There's that little bit, the building is darker, sort of towards the tops of the towers, and then towards the water, it gets lighter. So maybe I'll drop a little bit of water from my spray bottle along the bottom here. maybe let that run and do its thing. Oops. And that can sort of soften things up in the bottom for me. Put a little too much water. But I could play with where the water flows a little bit. Maybe drink up some of the water with my paper towel here. Then I can also take a brush. There we go. Maybe I'll take my brush. Still not exactly sure what color, if any, I want to have on it, but let me sort of play with this water and bring it out. See if I can make it diffuse into the surface of the water in front of the building here. Okay, still not totally convinced, but that may be the best I'm going to get it um, in the time that we have. There we go. Hmm. All right, everyone, how about 5 more minutes on the image? And then we'll take a screenshot together so that we all can see what we've been working on. Oop, there we go. Oh, sorry for, I don't know why this keeps coming back. Sorry about that bar at the top, everyone. There we go. I hope that wasn't distracting. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that, what I just did there, but maybe I want to soften things up here. Um, but I'm working on a dry surface. That's really hard to do. Don't want to add too much. There we go. Don't want to add too much more water to this thing. That might be, all right, there we go. That would be the best I could do. Hmm. Okay, everyone, how about one more minute with this? So begin wrapping up whatever part of the image you are working on, doing whatever you think you need to bring balance to your image. Let me see if I could do, there we go. All right. All right, very good, everybody. There we go. I will remove the image in just a moment. So, real quick before we go to the group screenshot, next practice hour will be Sunday, December 8th at 1 p.m. Okay. If you'll get probably an email from the Marchutz School if that's who you follow for this series, or one of my practice memos if you are a student of mine. So keep an eye out for that. You'll get the Zoom registration link, and I'd love to have you back in just a little less than a month to do this again. Um, all right, do this. All right, so I'd love to see your work, and I'd love to take a quick screenshot of everything we've done. And then Rose, our dear director from the Marchutz School, will send you all a follow-up email with the image so you can see what we've done in this session, as well as some other updates and fun things. So if you wouldn't mind just holding up what you've done, and quickly I will grab very nice candy. Great work there. Wow. Sarah, I like your sketchbook too, and I love how dark you made the building as well. Gorgeous work, everyone. Oh, wow. Corey knocked out two. Goodness. All right, everyone, hold them up. Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna take just one more, keep them there. And all right. Gorgeous work, everyone. Thank you all so much. It's been great to have you here. I'm happy that we got to do so much painting this weekend for those of you who've been joining multiple of these sessions. Take care of yourselves, okay? Remember, yeah, man, painting art heals for real, for real, for real.
Thanks.
Um, great to see you all. Stay in touch.
Thanks.
Keep an eye out for the
Glad-
follow-up emails,
Thank
and
you
I'll see you
so
next
much.
time, okay?
Happy early
Okay.
birthday, Nick.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Grace. Happy birthday
Thank
this
you.
week. See you all. Bye, everyone. Bye, Sarah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Corey. Great having you here. Bye, Nan. Great to have you,
Bye-bye.
Linda. See you, everyone.